That's a good
finance
point.
standard. Or,
Right.
I'd hate to put the number in here and then you go over there and just, we put 25 and then you put 22 over there.
Yeah, I hear you.
But
Okay,
then I could figure out how to reference the two.
Okay.
Yeah, and I just threw in the municipal, that's our own little thing, just to make sure that whatever we do is covered.
Yeah. Actually, there is no lighting requirements in our zoning, so maybe we just said we refer to
Okay.
our ordinance that doesn't exist yet.
Not yet.
Okay, continuing on, then we have, yeah, okay. All right, so now this was, this we had to do some wordsmithing on. Let me kind of explain this one to you. So this is the exterior masonry requirement that we have. This had to be wordsmithed a little bit because it did too many things in here. There's two things. One is, on a new building, on the main building, on your house, you gotta have 80% masonry. On all new construction, all new houses, okay? So that's for houses. And then you got fiberboard is not masonry. This is our standard, you gotta have 80% masonry. Then there's a roof pitch. Now, our roof pitch that we had, which is 4/12. So I talked to some roofers, because that's caused a problem in the past where, when I came here, they told me my house had to be 8/12. And I don't know where they got that number from, but my roof pitch is 8/12. But as far as I can tell, it was
They had it in the
4/12.
building code.
Is it the building code? Yeah, I
Zoning
think
thing in the building.
zoning and the building are different numbers. But anyway, so here's the issue with shingles, with a roof pitch. According to the Roofers Association of America, and I talked to 2 roofers today, including Chris Cox, the deal is this: if you go 4/12 or less, they call that a low pitch roof. 4/12 or 2/12 is low pitch. What that means is, roofers, you're required to put a second snow and ice shield underneath that. You cannot just do the standard shingle. It's got to have a second barrier underneath it. The problem out here is, do we really think these guys that are building something are putting that in? I don't know. Is Steve inspecting that? Who knows? I don't even know if he knows. So the roofers have all said you should get rid of the 4/12. Minimum should be 5, because 5 means you don't have to put this down. There's enough downforce and there's enough slope that the rainwater will run off fast enough. It won't go in the seams. So the higher the pitch, the better. In Canada, it's like 8/12 because they want the snow to slide off, right? So for us, it can't be 4. So I talked with a couple of roofers. They said it's Lakewood Village. You should just make it 6. Nobody does 5. They do even numbers. You're never going to find a 5/12. They do even. So they suggested 6. So I plugged 6 in. Again, the goal here is that protecting the owners of new houses, because you don't know if they put that barrier up there.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't know that it's in the building code. It's the roofer's installation requirement. It's not the building code. It's the roofers. Their manufacturer says if it's this, you got to do it.
Is this part of the warranty on the
Yes.
roof?
Yeah, but it's not code. So Steve doesn't look at it. It's not a code call. So how do we know that these guys that build one house and run away? They hire a roofer, right? It's Acme Roofing, or it's 4 guys with a shingle.
I'm sure a good percentage of them don't put it on there.
That would be my
Homeowner
guess.
would never know.
That would be my guess. So the easiest way to protect them is just make it where it's not necessary. And so that's why I went to 6. Okay, so that's where the 6 came from. And then we had one variance there. You haven't seen the variances, we've kind of administratively approved them anyway. If you were to come to my house and walk in my front door, I have an entryway. I'm sorry, on my side of my house. There's an entryway where you walk in. Well, if I had 8/12 roof pitch, I'm blocking the 2nd-story windows. So what people have, like on Cary, there's people that have a front porch. Where you walk in the front door, they have a porch. And then they have a 2nd floor. Well, they can't do a high pitch, they'll block the windows. So we've allowed them to drop that entryway. It's only a small fraction of the roof. To drop that down to be like 4/12 or 2/12. because they don't want to block the windows. So administratively, we've been doing this already. And that's why I put in there, for two-story houses, over an entryway, then you can reduce it to 2/12 with approval by the city. We're already doing that. Making them wait a month to come to get a variance where it's 8 square feet, you know,
Yeah.
we're going to do it anyway.
Cover interval.
So that's why that's there. It's again, part of things that we're already doing administratively, we might as well put them in the ordinance now. The one catch here that we had to fix, which was kind of, we tried to do it 2-in-1 up on the upper paragraph and it didn't work right, was if you have an accessory building bigger than 250, it has to match the house, what you did, right?
Right.
So this is making that clear, that if it's bigger than 250, you need to match the house, it has to be masonry, and do the best thing you can. We want you to match the dwelling. So it looks like they're the same. That was kind of glommed into the one on the top, and it doesn't read right. It wasn't clear, so now we make it clear. Over 250, you got to match the house. So that's clearing that up. We tried to do too much in the upper paragraph. Everybody good with that? That's what we've been doing. All right, can I scroll down slightly more?
Was the accessory structures in there prior, or that's only?
Accessory, this
It was-
section C is new, but it was right here.
It was up. It was a part of something. Any structure 250 feet or more.
Okay.
So
Then that was in the category called main building.
it wasn't readable.
Yeah, it was, we tried to do too much in one sentence. We tried to. So this just makes it a lot clearer. So if it's less than 250, you're good to go.
So 250 number didn't change.
Everybody good with 250? 250 is a random
It's what
number.
we've been doing.
Mhm.
It's just now it's a little more fluid, easy to read,
Yeah, I can't think of any reason to change it.
harder to contest.
250's been a good number because 20 by 12, you know, it's been a good shed size is 250.
So what's the purpose of the match the appearance of the main dwelling? Why does it have to match? I mean, I understand you're not gonna do something crazy, but what if someone doesn't want brick and they want stone?
Well, the idea was that aesthetically, like if you drove down Stowe and you saw Tri-Mica, Pazoric's big, huge detached garage, looks beautiful. It looks like it was one big. It matches the house. It looks like it was not an add-on.
Yeah,
You wouldn't know if that was built at the same time. So the idea is to make it look planned, not make it look ad hoc. You know, we don't want you to put up a steel corrugated bill next to the stucco.
That's actually what
That's
it really
tacky.
is.
You know, it's just
You see that a lot in the county. You have a brick and mortar house, and then 5 feet off to the side, you have a steel building. Trying to.
it was just giving, it was aesthetics, trying to give the illusion that it was all done at one time. Okay. Yeah,
I think that's it.
is that it?
Started capturing someone else.
Yeah, the rest, a lot of it deals with administrative stuff, like when there's an annexation, how the zoning comes in. So only about the first third of it is kind of in play if you're reading it. A lot of the stuff deals with submittals and who's got to submit what and where, and that's all bureaucratic stuff.
And a lot of this, we're not changing anything to do with the map.
We're not changing minimum house sizes, you know, who can
Land
build
uses,
what where.
all the sizes are all still the same.
I mean, I'll throw this out there since you guys are here. You know, you have the option of discussing, you know, should the woods be half acre, should the woods be 1 acre, should the woods be 3/10 of an acre. It's in play in this ordinance if you so desire to talk about it. I did not, but I'm letting you, but this is the time to do it, is to have that discussion if you want to change some of those densities.
What does the ordinance say right now? Is it still an acre?
Everything out there, section 6, is 1 acre.
But we know when we start sitting down and getting serious with land plan, we're gonna.
So developers are going to come in with a planned development.
They're gonna come in and ask for something different. It's
Yeah,
very
And
likely.
they have, and we don't really have a big problem with it as long as they don't get crazy.
So they're going to come in with something unique,
Yeah.
which won't match anything we have. And we'll shape that.
Right.
That's kind of what you do. But I think part of our logic was, if somebody walks in with 1 acre, we'll take it.
By the way, what happens if, since it's 1 acre now, and, you know, we, in our talks with land plan and everything, and we work to the 2 rooftops per acre thing, do we need to come back and change the ordinance, or
No.
is that some kind of special, you were
That's
talking about the PD thing with that
So,
other guy?
so right now, we have zoning, which says you're in group 1, category 2, 3, 4, kind of where you are. Okay? There's an alternative which says, okay, the zoning is Darrell West 1.
6.12.
So it's Darrell West zone. It only applies to Darrell. It's unique to you. And that's what a developer does. They have the option of coming in and saying, we'll meet zone section 6 as is.
Right.
And then we accept it. Or they say, we want to do Darrell West zoning 1. The street lights will be this tall, we're going to have sidewalks, the houses are going to be this size, this look. It's soup to nuts. It's like their own miniature zoning ordinance. And it only applies to Darrell West 1.
Right.
When the guy next to you comes in, that's Joe Smith 1. So then we shape that.
So we add a zoning,
So what would happen is, so section 6.12 outlines what a planned development would be. What we would do is we would treat it as if we're revising our zoning, we go through it, we have the public hearings and everything. Operationally, we would go modify our zoning document to reference planned development 1, planned
and we have a
development
new zoning category or
2. And then that zoning thing would either reside as an appendix or its own document, but it would still have a reference back to
We would now acknowledge Darrell West 1.
Right.
There would be a
is
map that says here's where it
Right, the
starts
map
or
would
it
change.
stops.
Yeah, yeah, I think zoning map and layout, but.
There you go. So this is, like I said, this section here.
So there really
discussion.
is no valid reason to change it, is what?
No, because
Yeah, that's what I was getting at,
If-
is I don't see any reason to go into big discussions about, because that gets into a whole bunch of stuff, talking about lot sizes and everything.
well, if you change it, then what you're essentially saying is, if you bring what we say, we must accept it. Legally, you must do it.
And we would be fine with that if somebody said, I want to come in and build an acre lot, we're not gonna argue.
We gotta call it something. So right now, the default is, the acceptable one that we have to take is the one that nobody will do.
Yeah.
So we have ultimate leverage. We know they have to come in with something else.
Yeah.
If we zoned it something that was more, let's say we zoned it to 1/3 acre, something very practical, the advantage of that is we would get somebody to rather rapidly,
That's where I was gonna go.
Yes.
that would move in quickly, but we lose all our leverage.
But that's not really our strategy anyway, we're
No.
not looking to drag in every time.
Yeah, you can encourage it, but, so it's conversation, right? So where Mark's going with this, that as a council, this is where we're talking about this. So if this is something that, as a council, we want to talk about, it's fair game to bring it up.
Yeah.
Now is the right time to do it. But at the same time, we don't have to do it
No,
either.
and I would vote for keeping it the way it is now. I think it gives us more leverage, and I think we all kind of want bigger lots.
The easy position is leave it alone and review what somebody brings.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the easy thing to
It's
do.
not only easy, I think it makes sense. If it were half acre, I wouldn't mind talking about moving it up to an acre so we could deal with those people that way. So, yeah, I think leaving it there makes sense.
Liz, did you have something to add?
Excuse me.
Well, why can't we compromise? I mean, why can't we say that we're open to, mixed lots? I mean, we obviously need to bring revenue so that we can repair the roads and the shores, and this would be a way to do that. And so, by us sitting here and discouraging developers, I don't think that's gonna, I mean, that's what we've been doing, right? All along, and so the land just sits there undeveloped. And so we don't have the funds to do what we want to do for the rest of the town. So it's, I don't know.
Well, I would probably
It's a
argue that
balance.
we do compromise, because in our discussions with land plan, we have talked about, smaller lots and things, so.
Well, I mean, the discussion you're bringing up, Liz, is exactly where we're at, which is, if a developer comes in sooner, we could piggyback on that, we could get concrete roads sooner if they come. Now, what can we do to get them to come sooner? How far are we willing to go to make that attractive to get somebody in? That's the pendulum, right? Right now, we've been sitting back saying, we're listening, but we're not changing nothing until you walk in the door, and we'll see what you got. And we haven't really been impressed with what you brought in the
The
door.
fact is, we've got, what, 3 really big land sections over there that are, you know, these guys already know the deal. They've sent developers in to sit down with us before. So it's not like there's just, we go stick a big sign up somewhere saying, come to Lakewood Village. We got 3 big landowners over there, right?
Ultimately, we don't own the land. So-
Well, I know that 2 of those owners have been actively trying to sell that land to developers.
Oh,
and
believe
they
me, I
can't.
know.
Right.
Because of the zoning, because
know.
when they go and pitch it, they look at the zoning, it's like, I'm not buying
No,
that.
I know that because I've been
So-
sitting and talking to them, but frankly, 2 of those big land plots aren't, the biggest problem isn't the size, it's where they're at and the sewer and how.
I know, you're exactly, that is the, in most cities, this is the trade-off you face. You know, like, we
Right.
know 50-foot wide lots, hell
Right,
no. You're not doing 50-foot, but, you know,
so
I think this
why
is good.
can't we have a discussion of, okay,
can.
we don't want, 50-foot lots or 0 lot houses, but this is what we can or what we are willing,
So-
instead of the 1 acre.
So this is what I was gonna propose, right? This is the time to do it, we're talking about it. And usually what happens is the person that's most important to comes with the proposal. So I would encourage you, okay, let's put it down in some sort of form so we can actually go through it. So you mentioned mixed use, I had it open here in a second. There's the table of exactly what we have today.
None of that, we've discussed that, smaller lots closer to the original section of
Right.
town, and bigger lots closer to the shores, because that would be cohesive with what we have right now.
So, and that's kind of where I'm going, is that I'm willing to have a conversation, but I think this is just one of these classic cases. Whoever it's most important to has to kick the conversation off by bringing the say.
Right, but I'm not the one having conversations with developers. I just have had conversations with 2 of the landowners, not land plan, but the other 2 with the smaller sections of land, and they're like, hey, I'm trying to sell my land and I can't sell my land, and
But at the
Right
same
now-
time, every developer that's come in here for those other properties besides land plan, I guarantee have never come in here with acre lots. They've always been much smaller than that.
yeah.
So, it sounds to me like the sellers are just complaining with no reasoning. There's no reasoning.
Well,
Well, I mean, let's just.
To me,
Let's have we can sit here and talk about it, yeah, I think we should talk about it, or we can sit here and say, okay, let's go,
let's plan on having that discussion next month.
let's have
Okay.
a discussion,
Let's
but
have a
let's
discussion
have
next
something prepared that we can actually kind of work through.
I mean, and to be fair, Liz, normally what we would do is, we normally have a strategic retreat each year, where we talk a lot about these kinds of strategic issues, how far, we go around the table and talk, what do do you like commercial, do you not like, so we talk about these, but we didn't have the retreat this year. So normally there'd be a little bit more cohesion on what people's thoughts are. So I think it's fine to have the discussion live, because that is ultimately, Frisco extends roads in the middle of cow fields and puts in, because they want to have it ready to make a developer ready. Well, we're not extending the sewer line to the toll bridge on our nickel,
Right,
to make it ready, but where are we in this game?
right, and
I think
let
that's
me
good.
be clear, I've lived here for 18 years, and I don't want the feel of what we are today to change by any means. But I think that there could be a balance here that we can explore.
Sure, great.
Yeah, it's worthy of discussion, so if you want to put it on the agenda for next month.
Well, zoning's gonna, this will be back.
Zoning and back, all I was suggesting is something that, we're not gonna make any progress here if we just say, okay, let's talk about this. And somebody's gotta take the time, right, and then we'll put it together so we can actually have the comment.
I will take
That's all.
over.
That's all I'm suggesting, is trying to make it constructive, otherwise we'll not make any progress if we just
And just to be clear for everybody, if we do make changes to that idea, that means a couple months after this, we have to reopen the comp plan. The comp plan lays out the impact fees, everything are based on the comp plan, which is all the assumptions of the
Actually,
future growth and everything else.
So what
So,
it means is that we table this, we do the comp plan, that passes, then we can.
right, there's multiple animals at play
Right, it's not
based
saying,
on this.
it's not saying don't do it, it's just understanding the variables that are.
So there's more than just one step.
Oh,
Right,
yeah.
if we decide to go this route and change it, we have to, before we do, we have to go reevaluate our comp plan. The comp plan then says you can change your zoning. There's a hierarchy. The comp plan is controlling one. And so if we're gonna change some of these land use assumptions as far as sizing, lot sizes, we have to adjust the comp plan first.
Okay.
Not saying we can't do that or we shouldn't, just saying.
Can you shut it down?
Yes.
Okay, I'm getting cues from my seatmate. All right, moving on. All right, so now we are going to go into a executive session here. Let's see, what executive session? Let's see. What do we got? Any developer stuff? No, I don't think so. All right, what do you say we, let's skip the executive session then. Is there, can you think of anything we need for executive session?
You wanted to do personnel?
I almost had it.
You lied about the nightclub.
I had it. Okay, we have to go into executive session.
Did he just say crap about your personal
So,
evaluation? That's not off to a good start.
I asked her for a PowerPoint presentation. She didn't have one. Okay. All right, so we are now going to executive session 5510712, Texas Government Code WIC. Constitute challenge or amount which is due to the attorney, government body, and Texas disciplinary codes, personal conduct, State Bar, Texas clearly conflicts. This chap received legal advice regarding property damage claim involving public services. What is that doing on there? Okay, but anyway, for public services, we still playing with, anyway. All right, 5510712 Government Code, deliberations about real property, Texas Government Code WIC, Economic Development, 551076 Code, Government Code, deliberations about security devices, and 551074 Texas Code, Government Code, Personnel Matters, evaluation of the town administrator, town secretary. Okay, we are in executive session. We're going to head to the back. All right. Linda, why don't we bring out the cake?
I want to do that.
We have no cake.
No, Linda probably has chocolate.
You know, so for someone who's getting an evaluation to not have a cake.
There is a.
It's okay, as long as you have chocolate.
In there.
Chocolate's good.
You're the man in the camera tonight, huh?
Okay.
It's okay. I've had enough
That looks like
sweets.
hard
This
work.
boss
Oh,
is
yeah,
doing
it's a
this
lot
to
of
me.
hard work. I should have brought a book.